why this particular 15th century painter still speaks so eloquently to 21st century audiences, and poems are still being written about these very moving paintings. I will say that my own particular taste are the writers who use looking at these paintings as a point of departure for something else that they're thinking about. There are many, many extremely religious and descriptive poems about this painting, but you'll see the ones that I chose actually end up coming back to the narrator.
If pregnant women don't have to pay the entrance fee, then what about me? The Madonna del Parto gazes, eyes inscrutable, fingers slitting apertures in the celestial blue, straight to my center of gravity. For two strange angels, each one winged, incomplete, grasped the heavy curtains, opening, closing them. Who's to say? Long ago, a gypsy predicted for me 2 daughters, one dark, one fair. Grief and guilt come in colors, dull red, queasy green. I said no to nature, then nature turned and said no to me. Frescoes pale with the passage of years, or they chip and crack during earthquakes. Colors and lines grow ever less clear. But this Sinopia never fades.
I can take you there, snow having made me a world of bone seen through to. This is my house, my section of Etruscan wall, my neighbor's lemon trees, and just below the lower church, the airplane factory. A rooster crows all day from mist outside the walls. There's milk on the air, ice on the oily lemon skins. How clean the mind is, holy grave. It is this girl by Piero della Francesca unbuttoning her blue dress, her mantle of weather, to go into labor. Come, we can go in. It is before the birth of God. No one has risen yet to the museums, to the assembly line, bodies and wings, to the open air market. This is what the living do, go in. It's a long way. And the dress keeps opening from eternity to privacy, quickening. Inside at the heart is tragedy, the present moment forever stillborn. But going in, each breath is a button coming undone, something terribly nimble-fingered, finding all of the stops.
But you couldn't see her darting past, her beauty, running, a bird, the sound of red dust in the road. Like you couldn't see my running against my own body, this one that's been touched, entered, that moves with this new communication in the blood. So what is beauty? Here in the present tense, post-diagnosis, post-reveal. To be told, even by an angel, your body must break to carry this growing burden, if it is a burden. If I cup my hand at my naked back like her, if I can curve the other just right, just at the very crown of my stomach, like this, like her, so that the light, the shadow, etc. Is that beauty? Will I be seen cleanly again? About a word, how it can stone a person, can show a life quite directly how it's already been changed. She is speaking that word to me now. However, too still she is, too calm, too white. But it's the lie that makes her beautiful, I think. Like my lie. I'm okay.
Albert Goldbarth, 1400. Saps and the anal grease of an otter and pig's blood and the crushed up bulbous bodies of those insects that they'd find so quickly gathered on barnyard excrement, it makes a pulsing rind, and oven soot, and the oil that forms in a flask of urine, and rotting horseflesh, and the white of an egg, and charcoal, and the secret watery substance in an egg, and spit in charcoal in a sluggish runnel of gray, they mixed with harvested scum of a bloated tomato, and steamed plant marrows beaten to a paste, and orange clay, and auburn clay, and clay bespangled with the liquid pearl of fish scales, stirred in milt, and suet, and glue boiled out of a hoof, and ash and grape-like clusters of fat grabbed out of a chicken carcass and dried in the sun until it became inert and yet still pliable, and lime and the pulp of a cherry, and the pulp of the cherry immersed in egg, and coral in a powder, and silver flake, and fig, and pollen, and dust, and beeswax, and an iridescence scraped with infinite care from the wings of hundreds of tiny flying things, and salted iridescence, and human milk, and oars, and gall, and stains expressed from teas, and gobs of squeeze-off from the nettings of cheese, and rouge, and coal, and luster, and oyster, and lees. And so from these they made their paints, and then their gods, and their saints.
The throat of the stag was never meant for speaking. It would have pained the creature to make the shapes, to force the tongue and push against its single row of teeth. Make way for the warning to Julian, whose arrow broke the bleeding hole the spirit of speech went in. The first the beast spoke was warning, threatened pain, which is the way of all first language, the mouth opening in surprise, the lungs ceasing up to bark. In the fragment or wall, skimmed off and framed, Julian too looks pained, regret not yet registered, understanding leaking, like a tint stirred into plaster, his cloak still pulled around his shoulders, his club gripped in his good hand, having beaten the bodies of those who made him. Regret would come later, but for now he was more animal than that talking beast who knew him for what he was.
While wings and eyes sharpen above. Strong king, who smiles from the depths, now turn your pupils to the cold and look at me. You stare silent and say now we have known it all, and that death was true, but the wind now delivers us unchanged and alive. King, rising comrade, in me a shawl of your throat, your fists closed over your wounds, let us go, force joined at the hip, amazed with gladness, talking of the blue march beyond destiny.